Good evening, students. Welcome to the live coaching classes organized by Board of Studies ICAI. This evening, we are going to study on this topic called import and export under GST law. Sorry, under customs law. So this topic, import and export, is a procedural topic all together. So this topic, import and export, gives you a basic backdrop. How does the customs officers do function? What are the trade practices in relation to import of goods, export of goods? In relation to this particular import of export of goods, what are the formalities involved with respect to the responsibilities of a importer, with respect to the in charge of a particular ship or aeroplane, this particular aircraft? So all these aspects are duly covered in this particular topic called import and export under Customs Act. Examination point of view, there are two topics which are generally tested from your testing. One is on the topic called baggage. Second is on a topic called transshipment and transit. So entire this particular export and imports, there's a weightage of 4 marks. And these are the two important topics which is tested, right? These are the basic aspects which we have to keep in mind when we are reading this particular topic on import and export. And students, as a protocol, please let me know if you are able to hear me and also my presentation is visible. And with respect to today's presentation, students, it has been hosted on ICAI website. Please download this particular material for your reference purpose. And there are a few questions which are asked in the last session. I'll just take up those questions and then we will start with today's discussion. Before we could wind up our topic for discussion, there's one question which is asked by Namita. She is asking this question: Sir, in case of prohibited goods, why Rule 7 is not applicable? I would say this way, Namita. As you say, prohibited goods, these are the goods which are not permissible for import purpose. Like example, narcotic drugs or ammunition or explosives. Now these goods are not permitted to be imported to India. So those goods, when it is not imported, there is no question of comparison of the value of those prohibited goods with the goods which are already sale in India. I would say this Rule 7, deductive value, I don't recommend to apply for prohibited goods. As the name goes, the goods are prohibited altogether. So why should we apply this particular Rule 7? So that would be an answer to your question, Amita. And there is one more question which is asked by Santosh Sharma. Sir, if bill of entry is filed on 15th June, date of arrival is on 30th June. In that case, what is the exchange rate? Exchange rate, Santosh, always we will go with the date of filing bill of entry. As per section 46, the day when importer files his bill of entry, that would be the day considered for the purpose of conversion. So Santosh, to answer your question, when bill of entry is filed on 15th June, we will take that as a relevant date for converting the foreign currency into INR. So these are the questions which have been put forth in my previous session. And yeah, good evening, Sharma. Thanks for the confirmation, Priya. There are a few questions which are there from Namita. Namita, what we will do, we will have a recap of our previous session and then we will come back to today's discussion. So as a regular practice, I have few problems for you to test your knowledge on what we have discussed in the last class. So this particular Excel file, hope this is visible, students. This particular Excel file has been put with few questions which are based on the topic called valuation. Hope my Excel file is visible, students. Please confirm. Great. Okay. Now, let's start with our first question. Question number 1. Just give me, let me do a little bit of formatting. Okay. Now, question number 1, and in that subclause A, from the below information, compute the value of goods to be assessed for calculation of customs duty. CAF value of goods $850. Conversion rate on the date of bill of entry, that is 12th August 2021, INR 76 per dollar. Conversion rate on the date of entry. Okay, this is on the date of filing of bill of entry. Okay. So they have given two rates. Conversion rate on the date of filing of bill of entry is 12th August 2021, that is INR 76. Conversion rate on the date of entry of vessel 20th August 2021, 78 rupees per dollar. Conversion rate as per authorized dealer for foreign remittance, 74.50. So here they have given three rates. One given for bill of entry. Second for entry of vessel. Third is for authorized dealer for foreign remittance. Now, so the accountant has got three rates. The day when he has filed his bill of entry, that is 76 rupee per dollar. On the date of entry of vessel, the conversion rate is $1 equivalent to INR 78. And third, the day when this importer has to remit to this particular foreign party, the conversion rate is 74.5. So please confirm, students, for this particular case of import, $850 is my value of import. Please convert into INR and let me know what is the rate to be adopted. For this particular clause, what is the rate you have to adopt and what is the value in INR? Sairam says, sir, we have to adopt as per section 46, bill of entry, that is 76. Perfect. So please remember, when I do the conversion, that is conversion of foreign currency to INR as per section 46, date of filing bill of entry is relevant. Accordingly, value of import. My value of import shall be 850 into 76. This happens to be 64,600. So this is the value in my INR. Examination, please remember, there is a weightage of 2 marks for this particular calculation, right? For ease of your reference, come to page number 4.11. Everyone, please come to page number 4.11. In page number 4.11, you can see a heading called conversion dates. Next, let's move on to question number 1B. FOB value of goods exported in Singapore dollars is 11,450. Conversion rate as per RBI on the date of issuing tax invoice is 1 Singapore dollar equivalent to 65. Conversion rate as per customs on the date of filing shipping bill is 66. Rate prevalent on the date of let export order by the customs officer is 68. So here, the goods have been exported where they have given FOB value. 11,450 Singapore dollars is my FOB value. Now to convert this into INR, they have given 3 dates. What are the 3 dates? The day I have raised my tax invoice, the prevalent RBI rate is 65. The day I have filed my shipping bill is 66. The day I have got a permission from the customs officer, let export, is 68. Please confirm what is the rate we have to adopt in case of shipping bill. I could see answers of Namita and Priya. All three of you are correct now. For clause B, Namita says 4917. Santosh says, okay, Santosh also says 76. Perfectly correct. Namita says for clause B, value should be 7,55,700. Okay, let me check that. Okay. Now, as per your goods exported, please refer to page number 4.11. For export of goods, the conversion in value shall be done with reference to the rate of exchange prevalent on the date of filing shipping bill. That is under section 50. So what you will do, rate of conversion in case of exports shall be the date of filing shipping bill under section 50. That is, on the date of filing my shipping bill, my conversion rate is 1 Singapore dollar is equal to INR 66. So the value will be FOB value in INR. My value in INR will be 11,450 into 66. 7,55,700. So this is my value in INR. 755,700. 755,700. I could see Namita, your answer is correct. Santosh, you're also right, ma. Naveen Prakash and Sairam, all of you are right. Good. So far, so good. Now, please remember, examination, you'll have a problem at least for 5 marks connected with your valuation. So if you don't know the entire problem, at least if you do this stage, you can fetch 2 marks. Examination, we have stepwise marks. So even if you don't get the final answer right, based on your individual steps, you get a individual step marks. So for this calculation, conversion of foreign currency into INR, we have 1 mark to 2 marks. Now, let's come to question number 2. Compute the value for the purpose of assessing customs duty payable on the basis of below information. So they have asked us to calculate the value, that is the assessable value for the purpose of computing customs duty. They have given few amounts which is in foreign currency. First, they have given value of goods 23,500. My value of goods is 23,500. Inspection charges 450. Loading and unloading 640. Insurance 280. Freight 1,800. Exchange rate notified by the customs 78. Rate of duty for customs purpose 35%. Social welfare surcharge 10%. IGST 12%. And they have given information that goods are imported by aid. Goods are imported by aid. Now, this is the information they have given. So, we have to do the calculation on the basis of CIF. So, can someone let me know on the basis of this information, what is my cost? FOB value. Can someone tell me FOB value? Based on the given information, please do the calculation and let me know FOB value. Please do the calculation and let me know what is the FOB value. Let me know FOB value. Namita says 24,590. Sairam says 26,220. Okay. Now, Saram, how did you get 26,220? Please check once. Okay. Look at the problem, students. Value of goods. This is a basic cost I have to take into consideration. So for the purpose of FOB, this will be taken into consideration. Inspection charges. Now the question comes, is this inspection charges relevant for the goods? Answer is yes, especially in case of your international transaction, where the goods have to be imported or exported. Always the importer insists for a test certificate. Reason, if the goods which are imported into India have defect, getting the respective permissions from the customs authorities, doing the documentation, sending back, incurring the charges on account of insurance, right? This is all bulky in nature. So any consignment which comes, generally they ensure that inspection charges are duly done. So this inspection charges also forms part of my cost. Loading, unloading charges. Now, is it connected with freight? Is it connected with insurance? No, it is connected with my cost. The goods which have to reach to the place of importation, loading and unloading charges have to be taken into consideration. So this also I'll take into consideration. Please remember, if you recollect your shortcut, there are a few abbreviations. I call them as INCO terms, INCO, INCO terms. Come to page number 4.7, Institute Material. There is something called ex-factory, FAS, FOB. FAS, it is the cost at which export goods are delivered alongside the ship, ready for shipment. It includes ex-factory, local freight, local taxes. Moving further on FOB, technically, there is not much as difference between FOS and FOB. FOB means stage at which goods are placed on board the conveyance carrying the vessel. It can be said to include FAS, loading charges, export duty. Now, this loading and unloading charges, these are forming part of my FOB. So this also I'll take into consideration. Insurance, it is part of my CEF. So I'll not take insurance. Freight, again, this is also part of your CEF. This also I'll not take into consideration. So my FOB value happens to be 23,500 plus 450 plus 640, 24,590. This happens to be my FOB value. Navita is asking this question, sir, page number 4.10, testing charges are not mentioned. Let me check, come to 4.10. Okay. Now, such transaction value shall also include, in addition to the price as aforesaid, any amount paid or payable for the cost and services. So including, you can look at the language. Okay. Students, please come to page number 4.10. Namita is asking one question. Sir, in page number 4.10, there is a definition called, there is a reference to transaction value. In my definition of transaction value, there is no reference for testing charges. Why is it not there in the given list? So here, answer would be, if you look at the last para, Namita, and all other students, if you read the heading, such transaction value shall also include, underline the term, shall also include, in addition to the price as aforesaid, any amount paid or payable for cost and services, including. So cost and services, you have to underline, including, you have to circle. Now, including is an indicative list. It doesn't mean that this is an exhaustive list. Because my testing charges are in connection with this particular supply, Namita, we will take that into consideration forming part of my FOB. Hope this point is clear, Namita. Santosh Sharma says FOB value is 21,420, excluding the value of inspection. Sairam also says he has excluded the inspection charges. Now, if you read this particular transaction value, both Santosh and Sairam, isn't it this value includes your expenses in association, right? So coming back, my FOB is in connection with the expenses incurred for the goods to come into the place of importation, right? This is my FOB value. Now, freight. Now, as per your rule 10, come to page number 4.23. Everyone, please come to page number 4.23. In the case of goods imported by air, where the cost referred to clause A, that is transportation, loading, unloading, and handling charges associated with the delivery of the imported goods to the place of importation, such cost shall not exceed 20% of free on board of the goods. So what they are saying, the cost of transport, loading, unloading, and handling charges associated with the delivery of the imported goods to the place of importation. Now here I have freight. Now if I read clause A, my clause A talks about transport, loading, unloading, and handling charges associated with delivery. To the place of importation. Now, this is what in nutshell they have spoken. Now, question comes here, little tricky. Say in page number Incoterms, page number 4.7, you have said that there is no much difference between FAS and FOB because FOB means stage at which goods are placed on board the conveyance carrying the vessel. It can be said to include FAS plus loading charges plus export duty. So here, loading charges also forms part of my FOB. And if you read your page number 4.23, in the case of goods imported by A, where the cost referred to clause A is ascertainable, such cost shall not exceed 20% of free on board value of the goods. So here they have said that all this cost shall not exceed 20% of FOB value of goods. So there is a technical glitch over here where the general practice is transportation is restricted up to 20% of FOB value. Now, for customs law purpose, in case if the goods are imported by A, the restriction of my freight charges, whatever freight expenses we have incurred, this would be restricted to 20% of FOB value. So what we will do here, applying your rule 10. Let me just move this to the right side. Freight charges as per rule 10. Actual restriction under rule 10. Now, my actual freight charges happens to be 1,800 and 20% of FOB, 4,918. Now, so I have paid freight charges much lesser than the restriction under rule 10. So what we will do? Freight charges, I'll take minimum of these two. So I repeat this point, students. Examination. This is what tested for you for application of provision. Now, freight charges under rule 10, there is a restriction of freight charges to the extent of 4,918. But in this actual scenario, my actual freight happens to be 1,800. So what I will do, I go whichever is lower, right? Next, insurance. Now, again, if you read your page number 4.22, where they have said, where the cost referred to clause B is not ascertainable, such cost shall be 1.125% of FOB value. Here, insurance is given. So what I'll do straight away, I'll take my insurance, the given actual amount incurred, $280. Value in foreign currency for customs, for AV, I'll say accessible value, 280 plus 1,800 plus 24,580 plus 1,800 plus 280. I get value in foreign currency. Value in INR as per customs rate notified. Value in INR as per customs rate notified. So what I will do? I'll take 26,670 into my conversion rate they have given is 78. This happens to be my INR. 20,80,260. 20,80,260. Namita, please check your answer once more. You said 27,82,260. You have a different value. Please check once, Namita. Everyone, are you clear till now? 20,80,260. In case you have a different answer, please validate your calculation. Conversion rate 78 is given in the problem. Application of 78. Please validate your calculations and confirm. Good. I could see Santosh has given the BCD, Social Welfare Surcharge, IGST. I'll come to that, Santosh. Let me do a cross check. Import of goods 2 times loading. There is no loading, Namita. Where is the loading twice? In import of goods, there is 2 times loading. Where is the loading? Okay. Now, I could see that no one has got a different answer other than Namita. Let's go one step further. Basic customs duty at the rate of 35%. Now, I have to do the calculation of basic customs duty on the value of goods in INR. This happens to be BCD. Social welfare surcharge at the rate of 10%. I do calculation of social welfare charge on my customs duty. So I get the value of 22,88,286. Please cross check your answers, students. Basic customs duty 20,80,260. Santosh, your BCD is right, man. 72,8091. $728. Calculation of basic customs duty on 20,80,000. I apply 35%. On this 7,28,000, which happens to be my customs duty, I am calculating my social welfare surcharge 10%. It happens to be 72,809. My total basic customs duty and social welfare surcharge 8,900. 8,00900. I could see that Santosh has got both of them right. Also, Priya says basic customs duty 728091. Perfect, Priya. Please go ahead for IGST calculation also. Now, value for IGST under section 3, subsection 8. So my GST calculation, my GST computation is on the basis of section 3, subsection 8. Now, additional duty is levied under section 3, where subsection talks about IGST. This particular subsection 8 says, for the purpose of my IGST, please take the value of your imports on that applicable customs duty, on that any surcharge paid for this particular amount. So here value for IGST happens to be 20,80,000 plus 8 lakhs on this amount 28 lakhs. Let me just put a small differentiator. IGST at the rate of 12%. My calculation of IGST on 28,81,000, 12% IGST happens to be 34,000. Sorry, 3,45,739. I'll do a rounding off. On 28,81,000, 345,739. 345,739. I could see Santosh, you're right. Geeta, I think you have to check your IGST calculation one. Geeta, please check your IGST once again. Priya, you're right. Namita, you're also right. I could say all of you are on the same pace. Good. So, my total customs duty and IGST payable, I'll just put a color coding so that later point you can cross check on this. My basic customs duty and social welfare surcharge 800,900. Now, examination 5 marks is a weightage for this particular calculation. One, they will check your aptitude for converting foreign currency into INR. Second, they will check your application of section 14 read with your rule 10. What values I have to add, what values I have to exclude. So this is your basic assessment done. Valuation, examination, there is no question set excluding, ignoring your valuation paper. So this is the importance of your chapter called valuation. Examination, 5 marks easily you can score from this particular chapter. I would recommend practice all the problems from this chapter called valuation. So far so good? Good. Now let's go to question number 3. I'll just move this particular thing down. Okay. Now, question number 3. Examine the below information and examine the value to be considered for determining the transaction value as per section 14 of Customs Act 1962, read with respective rules. So they have given some information, students, and the values are given in foreign currency, that is euro. So based on these expenses incurred, they were asked us to confirm as per section 14 and your valuation rules, what is the value to be considered for deriving it something called transaction value. So first to start with, value of goods manufactured 48,200. Inspection testing charges 485. Design and drawing charges paid by the importer for installation of machinery in India. So this particular importer has incurred some design and drawing charges for 850 euros. Tools sent to manufacturer at subsidized cost. Actual value of goods 850 euros. 100 euros was the value which was supplied to the manufacturer. The value of goods is 850 euros. However, this was supplied to this particular manufacturer at 100 euros. Next, royalty fee payable at the rate of 5% on the supply value made by the importer, which is calculated as 1,446. Buying commission paid by importer to Mrs. XYZ & Co. 2,410 euros. So students, they have given these 6 information. Value of the goods, inspection, design drawing, tools sent to the manufacturer at subsidies cost, royalty, and buying commission. So I'll give you 5 minutes time. Please do the calculation. And when you solve this problem, what I would recommend for each particular line item, please put your reason why that should be added, why that should not be added. And please do calculate the transaction value in foreign currency. Transaction value in foreign currency. Do the calculation and let me know the transaction value in foreign currency. Apply your rule 10. Apply your rule 10 carefully. Namita is well ahead of me in completing the question. Namita says 51081 euros. Let me check. Namita says 51081. Okay. I'll wait for another 1 or 2 students to confirm. Then we will solve this particular problem. Examination students, reasoning is very important. You need to analyze your answer. You need to analyze your answer with a reasoning why it should be considered, why it should not be considered. Probability, like, sir, what if my provision is right, but my value adopted is wrong? Probably, on the basis of your explanation of provision, examiner may give half mark instead of giving 0 marks. And all of you know better the value of 1 mark in your examination. Geeta has come with the second answer, 49,535. 49,535. Okay. I'll wait for 1 more answer, then let us solve the problem. Good. I could see Sairam also gave 1 more answer. 52641. Now, see your answers. 3 people have 3 different answers. See, I don't know how many, but like how many of you could compare your answers and do sort of brainstorming. Examination, this is what we actually come across when we look at your answer sheets. Every student, like this live case in front of us, I could see, I have put 3 answers. Namita gave 51081. Geeta has given 49535. Sairam has given 52641. Now, if another 2 students come, I'll get 2 more different answers. No doubt. Examination, irrespective of your answer is right or wrong, your reasoning and your provisions will fetch you marks. Even if your final answer is wrong, like when an examiner does the valuation, what they do, they look at each and every step which was put in by the student. And out of, say here in this problem, I have 6 adjustments. 6 into half mark. 3 marks is for my, plus or minus adjustments. So if the adjustment is right, I'll give a half mark. If adjustment is wrong, I'll deduct half mark. And 1 mark, it is for your analysis of your provision. 1 mark for that summation of your all calculation. So here, even if you're wrong, one of the interpretation is wrong, based on your summation, you get a half mark. Based on your provisioning, that is analysis, you get 1 mark. So this is how you have to look at your presentation strategy in your examination, right? Let's come to solving the problem. I'll put here for transaction value, I'll mention reason. Now, before we solve this problem, everyone, please look at your page number 4.21. Everyone, please come to page number 4.21. Cost and services, where Rule 10 says, in the process of your section 14, read with Rule 3 till Rule 10. All the provisions, all the rules, by and large refer. See, whatever transactional was declared, in addition to that, please look at your Rule 10. That's how my Rule 10 comes into play. Now, value of goods manufactured for transaction value, definitely this is a main ingredient. I'll take that into consideration. Forms part of cost of goods imported. Next, inspection charges. Now, inspection charges, as Namita rightly pointed out, when you look at your page number 4.10, transaction value shall include, in addition to the price as aforesaid, amount paid or payable for cost and services. Now, this particular service, testing charges, is in relation to my value of goods. So, the transaction value, that is imported goods, shall also include my testing charges. Yes, as per section 14. As per section 14, transaction value to include testing charges associated with goods. Next, moving on. Design and drawing charges paid by the importer for installation of machinery in India. Now, this particular 850 euros, was this incurred by the manufacturer in foreign nation? Answer is no. Is it incurred by importer in India? Answer is yes. Is this 850 connected with the goods to be delivered? Answer is no. Expenses incurred in India shall not be forming part of my transaction value. So at the place of importation, please look at your point. Place of importation. So for my place of importation, once the material have reached my customs port, there ends my assessment in the process of determining the assessable value. Now in this case, I have paid design and drawing charges, which are paid by the importer for installation of machinery once it has come into India. So this is a post-importation related activity. I would say no, not associated with the cost of goods till place of importation. Next, tools sent by manufacturer at subsidized cost. Actual value of goods 850 euros. Now, this importer has supplied goods to the manufacturer. What he has done? He has supplied this goods at 100 euros. But what was the actual cost? 850 euros. Now, look at your page number 4.21. Everyone, please come to page number 4.21. Rule 10, cost and services. Look at your clause B. The value apportioned as appropriate of the following goods and services where supplied directly or indirectly by the buyer free of charge or at reduced cost for use in connection with the production. For use in connection with the production and sale for export of imported goods. Right? Now what is happening here? The tools which are belonging to me, assuming for a moment Praveen is importer. And for a moment, let us assume that Priya happens to be an exporter. Now, Priya needs these tools for the purpose of manufacture. What Praveen has done? Praveen has exported these goods at 100 euros. Those goods have been used for manufacture and have come back. Now, the value of goods which have come back is at a subsidized rate. It is not at actual cost. Now, what if for a moment Praveen does not supply these tools? Priya, who happens to be the manufacturer in England, she has to fetch these goods locally, whose value may be 850 euros, right? So here what we will do, these tools which are connected with my goods to be manufactured, read with your Rule 10, Sub-Rule 1, Clause B. The value of apportion as appropriate of the following goods, services, ways supplied directly or indirectly by the buyer, free of charge or at reduced cost. So if it is free of cost, please add back that cost. If it is a subsidized, add the value which is subsidized, which is actually not paid by the exporter. Reduce cost of use in connection with the production and sale for export of imported goods to the extent that such value has not been included in the price actually paid or payable. So here what happened? The value of goods which are manufactured was 48,200. That includes only $100, 100 euros. There is a reduction of 750 euros. So what we will do? We will say yes, as per Rule 10, Sub-Rule 1, Clause B, value of tools subsidized, supply, and not included in the value of import. That is, your 750 euros to be considered. I repeat my point once again, students. 48,200, which was the value imported, definitely because Praveen has exported to Priya for 100 euros. Priya, while sending back this particular goods, she would consider only 100 euros. Why? Because Praveen supplied for 100 and Priya is sending back at 100 euros. So this 48,200 euros includes only 100. The balance amount of 750 euros was not there. So I apply my Rule 10 and I add back that 750 euros. Moving further. Royalty fee payable at the rate of 5% on the supply value made by the importer. So here, look at your clause C. Come to page number 4.22. Look at your page number 4.22. Royalty and license fee. What they say? Royalty and license fee related to the imported goods that the buyer is required to pay directly or indirectly as a condition of the sale of the goods being valued, to the extent that such royalties and fee are not included in the price actually paid or payable. So here, this particular importer has to pay royalty to this particular supplier. In this example, assuming that Praveen is an importer, Priya happens to be an exporter. For the goods which have been imported into India and which have been sold at a later point in time, after the sale happens from Praveen to unrelated party. So Praveen in India sells these goods to Sairam. Praveen in India sells these goods to Sairam. For the value which has been released from Sairam, in turn, Praveen pays back to Priya as royalty. How much? 1,446. Now this clause says that royalty and license fee related to the imported goods. Now, is this royalty related to import goods? Yes. Whatever I have imported, I have admitted that after the sale, I pay back to you royalty as 5%. How much that comes to? 1,446. So this clause C, what they're saying that this should be included in the price actually paid or payable. So this 48,200, if does not include, we have to add back this royalty. So what I'll do, I'll make a note that value of goods exported for euro 48,200 euros. It is assumed that royalty is not included. So If royalty is not included, again, applying my rule 10, sub rule 1, clause C, I have to include this. As per rule 10, value of royalty has to be considered. This is my reasoning. Moving on further. Buying commission paid by the importer to Mrs. XYZ & Co. So what happened here? In this case, Praveen happens to be the importer. Praveen has paid 2,410 euros as a buying commission. Somewhere they spoke about commission. Where is that? Look at your page number 4.21, students. Page number 4.21, subrule 1, clause A. In that clause A, point number 1. Commission and brokerage except buying commission. My rule 10, subrule 1, clause A, and at that point 1. Commission and brokerage except buying commission. So this need not be included. So what I'll say? I'll say no. As per rule 10, subrule 1, clause A, in that clause 1, buying commission not to be included. Buying commission not to be included, right? So now applying all these provisions, transaction value. So what I will do, I'll add 48,200. I'll add 485 your testing charges. I'll add, instead of 100 euros, I'll add 750 euros. To that, I'll add royalty of 1,446. Adding all this, I'm getting 50,881. Now, you got a fourth answer. On the screen, you can see there are 3 answers already given by Namita, Geeta, and Saidam. And I have calculated 50,881. Now, look at your answers and please do the correction at your end. Naveen, P. Naveen Kumar, 51081. Naveen Kumar, you're very close, man. 51,081. Very, very close by. Geeta is asking this question. Amount paid by the importer not come and buying commercial not come. Amount paid by the importer does not come and buying commission also not to be considered. Yes, Geeta. Namita says value of goods 51,731. Please cross check, Namita. Namita, again, you have given 51,731 euros. Hope you have understood this 50,881. Also, I could see Santosh Sharma, 48,200. Oh, okay. 48,200. Okay. Give me the final answer, Santosh. Naveen says 51,831. Okay. Let me know if you have any doubts on this analysis and reasoning. Any of you have any reasoning, please let me know. I think Naveen, you have did this small mistake. P. Naveen Kumar has given 50,981. Naveen, that 100 euros, when that manufacturer is sending back, she is going to add back that 100 euros as the supply value. Right? So for that reason, I'll not add back Indian 850 Naveen. I'll just add back 750 euros. Hope this point of Adjustment is clear, Naveen. Only that point you have done a mistake now. But otherwise, rest all are okay. Sairam, you have got 650 as a difference, man. Sairam, what you have done as a mistake, you could see my screen, man. You have given 50,231 euros as an answer. Actually, what you have done from 750, you have reduced 100 and you have added 650. I think that is a mistake you have done, Naveen. Sairam, you have done a mistake, man. Instead of 850, what you have done, you have reduced 850 minus 100, that is 750. Again, 100 you have reduced now. You should actually add back 750. Please check your calculation, Saira. Okay. There is a small correction, Namita. Your point is valid, ma. Namita is asking, sir, in royalty, we should add 5%, 1446. So why 1446 as a whole? This 1446, Namita, let me do a small correction. It should be 3%. By mistake, I've said 5%. Now, what they have given on 48,200, 3% is what they have derived as per the agreement. This seller who is there in a foreign nation and the importer who is there in India, they had an agreement that for these goods you should pay 3% royalty, and this is a predetermined price. This could change, but they have agreed upon saying that whatever value I'm going to bill back to you, on that you pay 3%. So accordingly, on 48,200, 3% comes to 1,446. This is one small correction. Hope this is clear, Namita. Good. Now, so far so good. Sairam and Naveen, hope these two small corrections where you did a mistake is clear to you. Now, these are the questions which are set for a recap for today's discussion based on our previous chapter called valuation. Now, let us come back to our topic for today. Santosh Sharma says, sir, 50981, we assume that 100 is not included in the value of goods. Good. I agree with you, Santosh. Santosh says that, let me just take this thing. Now, interpretation of Santosh. Value of 100 euros not included. Now, this particular point may be disagreed, Santosh. Look at the argument. Look at the argument. Now, not that you have to get a right answer, not that we have to debate on your answer. The interpretation, Santosh, when the goods have been exported, what happened? This importer has sent the tools to this manufacturer at 100 euros. And because there is a trail that this has been sent at 100 euros, there is a documentation. You remember, like, when the goods have been exported, there is a export invoice. And when goods have been imported, when it has come for assessment purpose, this particular proper officer, he would see, were there any goods supplied by, in this example, like Praveen happens to be a importer in India and Priya happens to be a manufacturer in England. So this proper officer, Santosh, he will see in the last particular value, in the last particular period, whether Praveen has exported any goods. He will raise a question on the importer. And Praveen says, yes, I have exported the tools to Priya for this particular manufacturing. So this proper officer will ask, what happened to those two goods? So these have been incorporated and it has come back. Was those goods forming part of this supply? Answer is yes. So for all technical reasons, this value of 100 euros will be included in this 48,200 generally. because when goods of importer are coming back, definitely it has to be billed back. So I would caution you, Santosh, wait and watch. This reasoning may not withstand to the reasoning in your examination, right? But for that, I would say yes. You can argue that this is my interpretation. I don't deny on your interpretation. Moving further, let's start with our today's discussion. Not much we have from examination point of view. Baggage rules is one topic which is tested by and large from this topic called import and export. Transit and transshipment. What happens in case of goods which are imported into India continues to sail in the same vessel. In case of a transshipment, where from one vessel to another vessel, well, there is a transshipment. What is the procedure involved, and what is that the documentation and declaration need to be followed? Special provisions connected with your stores in relation to your import and export. What do you understand by the term stores? What is the importance of this term called stores? And then procedure for import and export. This is a very tiny topic. I have covered only the important points for your interpretation, and this institute material made it very, very simple as a layman's language. Whoever reads this particular material, they would understand without any technical hiccup the provisions concerned. And in the process of this discussion, I have brought in few aspects of practical problems for us to understand from your examination point of view. And there's one small topic called custodian. The person who is in charge of the goods when they come into India or when they are meant for export. We'll also discuss on this particular topic called custodian. So this is the coverage for our today's discussion. Let's start with your baggage provisions. And I would recommend students, as we discuss through, please have your institute material next to you. Reason, you can make a running notes, you can make your examples in your institute material. It will be easy for your recap in the time of examination. Now, starting with your definition of baggage. My section 2, subsection clause 3 talks about the term called baggage. This term baggage includes unaccompanied baggage but does not include motor vehicle. Now, this is a thin definition which has been defined. Baggage includes, when I say includes, there is a illustrative. This list is a illustrative one, means what all comes into your mind can be included in this. Includes unaccompanied baggage, but does not include motor vehicle. I'll give an example for you to understand this particular term called baggage. Sir, I visit from Delhi to, say, Kerala. In the process of my journey from Delhi to Kerala, I have something called my personal belonging, baggage. There is something called hand baggage. There is something called cabin baggage. Means the baggage which is permitted for me to carry in my hand. That particular baggage which comes in a separate process as a cabin baggage. Means it goes on a conveyor belt, it gets scanning, and then that gets loaded onto my aircraft. That's called baggage. Hand carried and cabin luggage. I call this as cabin luggage. So what if I board the flight at Delhi, which reaches the destination called Kerala? So when I have landed in Kerala, I got my hand baggage, which is carried with me, but my cabin luggage was missing. So this is a general practice. Whenever your luggage is missing, airport, this concerned service provider, they ensure that by next flight it reaches to Kerala, and when you give your address, they ensure that your luggage safely reaches your hotel or your residence. So this happens to your cabin luggage. Now, this is also called as your baggage. So the same way, when we imagine your export and import, say Mr. A visits from Singapore to India. This particular baggage of Mr. A can come along with him, can come after a period of time, after Mr. A gets a formal clearance and he comes to his residence in Kerala or Kolkata. So a particular person who visits from foreign nation, when he's coming to India, the luggage which is carried in his hand, the luggage which is the cabin luggage, both together can be called as your baggage for the purpose of your customs law. And this particular baggage, students, also includes that luggage, that particular baggage, which was sent, which was received at a later point in time. So what happens? I have put my luggage as a baggage at 10:30 flight from Singapore to India. Instead of catching 10:30 flight, I've got into 12:30 flight. My baggage has come ahead of me. Even then, it's called as a baggage. But they say it does not include motor vehicle. Why it does not include motor vehicle? For the reason, the duty which needs to be paid. My duty in case of baggage is prescribed at the rate of 35% ad valorem. My rate of duty is 35% in case of baggage. In case of motor vehicle, generally the customs duty is 100% tariff value. So if the value of goods imported is 1 crore 25 lakhs, my customs duty happens to be 1 crore 25 lakhs. For that reason, they have said my motor vehicles are kept outside the definition of my baggage. Now, in the process of this reference, I refer to personal belonging. When I look at my baggage, so what do I carry as a forming part of baggage? My personal belongings. What do you mean by personal belonging? My clothing, my daily essential needs. So I am a student. I have my books. This is called personal baggage. So I am a student. I have my pen and pencil. It's called a personal baggage. So I am a student. I have my laptop, which is personal in nature. I can call that as a baggage. So I am a person who's working in an office. When I carry a cot, it's not a personal belonging. I have purchased a cot. It is not a regular day-to-day usage thing. I cannot call that as a personal belonging. Sir, I visited Singapore. While coming back, I brought 10 hens with me, living animals. It is not personal belonging. So I have brought pet animals. Again, it's not personal belonging. So I went to Singapore. While coming back, I have come along with me one additional person. I got married to one lady and I brought her along with me. It's not a personal baggage. Personal belonging is presumed to be under customs law as those belongings which is forming part and parcel of your daily requirements, daily needs. That's called personal belonging. Next, you have something called household. Something which is not personal belonging, those goods which are used by the individual and his family members. His family members. Like example, say I went to Singapore. While coming back, I have brought a packet of crayons. Why I have brought a packet of crayons? So my sister, she's going to 10th grade. She is fond of drawing. So I brought some crayons for my sister. So while coming back, I brought a watch as a gift to my father. Again, it's not a personal belonging, it's a household item. Or it could be called as a gift. So while I'm coming back, I have brought a kg of sweets. Now it's called household items. It's a goods which is meant for household, means to the family members. I can carry some gifts. When I visit Singapore, I have a few items which I've brought back as a gift to my brother, my sister, my mother, my father. I can carry something called gift. Again, this household items can be called as my baggage. Gifts can also be called as my baggage. Next, souvenir. Gifts and souvenirs. Now, in general common parlance, when I say souvenir, this is as good as whenever you visit, like say, People who visit this place, Kashi, when they visit a holy place called Kashi, they come back with a small idols of Lord Shiva, or they may come with Rudraksha. When they visit Jammu, say your Vaishno Devi temple, they may come back with a small murti of Ma Vaishnavi as a remembrance of that particular tourist place. So those souvenirs are the monuments or the items which are in resemblance of a trade place or tourist place which you have visited. So I come back with few items. For another example, so I visited Hampi. When I visit a place called Hampi in Karnataka, it is known for this handmade what you call handmade items. These handmade items, I get back elephant, which is a handmade item. So I bring back that elephant as a souvenir in remembrance of a visit to Hampi, handicraft goods. So these all items I can call as handicraft, my baggage. Now, examination, definition of baggage, 1 mark. Examination, clarificatory points in relation to baggage, 2 marks. A problem, 3 marks. So this is your basic understanding of baggage. Now, in relation to baggage, students are not going in the higher in the same flow what is there in your institute material. I've made this simplified for your understanding and only relevance from your examination point of view. Now, this particular section 77 is little important. Now, I'll give you the backdrop and then I'll explain you this term called baggage and IGM, EGM. So generally, whenever someone visits abroad, they fill a form. What is there in that form? A declaration. They say that, look, I am a resident of India. I am visiting to Europe. I am visiting to USA for a particular tourist purpose. When I'm visiting to that particular place, these are the goods I'm carrying with me. What have I mentioned? So I'm having 15 grams of ring, 15 grams of my what you call necklace. I'm having a ring which is having 10 grams. I'm carrying with me one laptop which is having so brand, maybe Dell, HP, whatever it is. Along with me, I'm carrying say 3 pairs of shoes, maybe whichever is the costly item. I'm carrying some household belongings, so and so. I give a list of items where I call that as a declaration, right? Why do I do that? Because a person who is coming into a particular nation from a foreign nation, they have to give a declaration to the customs authorities that, look, these are the items which are my personal belongings. These are the items I brought as an additional items. Now, customs won't let go as duty free. If they let everything as a duty free, now the customs authorities lose revenue heftily. People who from Kerala, majority of the people go and settle in Abu Dhabi. When they come back from Abu Dhabi, generally they come back with gold. Reason, the gold in Abu Dhabi is very economical compared to any other nation. If I get 5,000 rupees per gram in India, the same gold will be worth around 3,200 to 3,500 in Abu Dhabi. So I get my ornaments, my bullion at a dead cheap in Abu Dhabi. So that's the reason majority of the people who come from Abu Dhabi returning back to Kerala, they always declare what is the value of goods, gold and jewelry or bullion they have taken abroad. What is the value of gold and jewelry you are getting back? A simple example. Sir, I have gone to Abu Dhabi with 50 grams of ornaments on my with me. While coming back, I have come back with 150 grams. Now the question comes from the customs authorities. Praveen, you have come back from Abu Dhabi with 150 grams. Why shouldn't I calculate that duty as per the tariff rate available on that 150 grams? For that, I have to give a justification. Sir, I went to Abu Dhabi. I have purchased an ornament for 100 grams. Look, this is the bill. I have to produce a documentary evidence that I have purchased these goods abroad and I have brought these goods into India. Now, is that sufficient? They say, If the goods have come back as an ornament, I give a relaxation. If the goods have come as a bullion, you have to pay the duty equivalent to the tariff notified on that particular day. So there, my declaration under section 77 comes importance. What happens here? The owner of any baggage shall, for the purpose of clearing it, make a declaration of its contents to the proper officer. So what I'm doing here, I as the owner of baggage, now let's take this example this way. Like father, mother, these two people are visiting Abu Dhabi to meet their elder son in Abu Dhabi. Say younger son is in Kerala, the elder son is in Abu Dhabi. So while going, they have to give some intimation. While coming back, they have to make a separate intimation. What they'll say, sir, I have gone with 100 grams of jewelry. I'm coming back with 250 grams of jewelry. What was the difference of 150 grams? I have to prove to the satisfaction of the officer that this is the value of goods I'm going to come back. Now, look at holistically. A flight which has gone from Kerala to Abu Dhabi. The same flight, if it is coming back to India. Now, this flight is going to, when you visualize your flight, it consists of your crew members, it consists of passengers, it consists of your baggage. It also consists of your goods which are meant for transportation. So what happens here? There's a custodian, there's a person in charge of a conveyance or aircraft. This particular person in charge, who happens to be the master of this conveyance or the aircraft, what he will do? He will consolidate all the information of passengers, of the crew members, of the goods which are meant for transportation, right? So let me come back to my Excel file to make you understand this provision. Person in charge of vessel or aircraft or vehicle. Now, I can have this import-export by air, by sea, by road, whatever could be the thing. So here, if you look at those particular modes of communication, there is someone called crew member, passenger, and goods meant for transportation. Now here, here these two people make something called declaration under section 77. Declaration under section 77 for baggage. Goods meant for transport, either into India or to other nation. Now, I call a person called PIC. Who is PIC? Person in charge. The person in charge is a person who's taking the responsibility of this flight or your vehicle or your what you call a vessel. So this particular person has to be responsible whenever an aircraft is coming into India, whenever a particular boat, a vessel is coming into India, they have to declare to the customs authorities. What they have to declare? So look, these are the three items coming together. For these two, this is the baggage. And for this transport, this is the list of goods. And these goods, there are few goods which are to be delivered in India, few goods which are to go back out of India. Like example, say Singapore Airlines. When Singapore Airlines comes to India, it could be possible that from Singapore, there are few goods meant for transportation to India. After unloading in India, the flight travels from Singapore to say Nepal. So there could be some goods to be unloaded at Nepal. From there, it may go to Burma. From there, it may go to Kazakhstan. So this Singapore Airlines may carry the goods meant for India, meant other than India, right? So here, all these three put together will be intimated, will be declared to customs authorities. Now, part of this declaration, I have something called baggage. Part of this declaration, I have something called baggage. Now, if the information is not given by this passenger to the person in charge, in turn, person in charge doesn't give to the customs authorities, then your violation, confiscation, or intent to evade payment of duty, otherwise called as smuggling. Now, in case if a passenger defaults, it doesn't declare to the proper this particular person in charge. Person in charge, whoever happens to be the master of this aircraft or vessel, what they do, they just consolidate the declaration given by the passengers to the customs authorities. So when I, Praveen, comes to clear my goods, the customs officer says, Praveen, look, you have given a declaration. I have a suspicion on you. Why? The goods what you are carrying with you and the declaration given by you doesn't tally. Let me have a cross check on that. This is the importance of a baggage. Hope this particular baggage is clear, students. This concept of baggage, why it is used, where it is used, and how it is relevant for the purpose of my assessment. Now, there's one question from Sumit. Sir, if a person carrying goods for gifting purpose, will it be out of purview of baggage rules? There will be not be any import duty. This will be forming part of your baggage, Sumit. See, what do you mean by baggage? Baggage is nothing but your box, trunk box, or your luggage box, whatever. All those belongings, when you put in a luggage box, I can call that as a baggage. Now, this baggage is being examined by the customs officers. So definitely, yes, Sumit. I can include my luggage, that is gift, also as a forming part of baggage. Now, so there is a person called person in charge of a conveyance. This particular person in charge has to file import general manifest. He has to file export general manifest. This IGM is a list of goods which are being imported into India. EGM is a list of goods being taken out of India. So what is happening here? In both the cases, this IGM or EGM includes baggage goods. So this IGM or EGM has to have a reference of baggage goods. So what happens here? Customs officer would like to know, look, I'm permitting a flight to come into India. When the flight is coming into India, I, as a proper officer, I, as a customs officer, would like to know what are the goods which are brought into India for transportation. In addition, what is the baggage which is also getting into India? So how does the person in charge knows? How does PIC knows what is the goods being carried? Now, this is known on the basis of declaration given by the owner of baggage. So this is your basic aspects to understand. Moving further. In case of my baggage, the rate of duty and tariff value is determined under section 78. So my baggage provisions are dealt under section 78. Here, what they say, like your section 15. Your section 15, when you look at your rate of duty in case of import or in case of your filing bill of entry for home consumption. What does my section 15 say? The date of entry of the vessel or aircraft, filing of bill of entry, whichever is later, that date I'll take as a rate of duty. In case of baggage, section 78 says the rate of duty and tariff value, if any, applicable to baggage shall be the rate of valuation in force on the day on which a declaration is made in respect of baggage under section 77. So the day a declaration is given by the person who is holding that baggage, that day will be considered as your rate of duty or tariff valuation. So generally, in case of your exports, in case of imports, the day this intimation is given by the person in charge, that date will be considered for my fixing rate of duty or tariff value. I'll give one example for you to understand the importance of section 78. On 13th July 2021, Mr. A has visited India, has returned back to India from Dubai. Proper officer has did assessment of baggage and demanded duty on value of goods not freely permissible on rupees 4,85,000. Mr. A has not agreed upon by the proper officer assessment and gone for an appeal. Appeal got finality on, say, 20th July 2023. I'm just going in a little further ahead of current date. 13th July, the actually declaration was made under section 77. Now, this gentleman, Mr. A, when he has come to India, what happened? He gave a declaration that, sir, I have visited from Dubai, and this is the day I am coming to India, and this is the value of goods which I am taking back. So, in the process of this baggage, proper officer says, Mr. A, you have carried the goods more than what I can permit you under customs law. This particular A says, no, you have a wrong understanding. This ornament is my personal belonging. Like example, I have brought back, television, or I have brought back some, books. I have brought back some books which are claimed to be mine, but these books are assuming that not belonging to Mr. A. A proper officer says that, no, these books doesn't belong to you. Now, some dispute happened here and there, where 4,85,000 was the demand. Now, the question comes here, on the date of my customs duty, rate of duty, 13th July 2021, 20th July 2023. Assuming here it is 12%, and over a period of time, this has become 85%. Now the question comes here is, this A, should he pay, assuming that this was in favor of department? A has to pay the particular duty concerned. So he has to pay 85% rate of duty, or should he pay 12% rate of duty? To confirm this particular aspect, my section 78 was brought in. Section 78 to determine the rate of duty and tariff value. Now, this is the purpose with which my section 78 was brought in. So, for all your practical means, they say, look, the day the assessment, this particular person in charge of baggage, owner of a baggage, he made a declaration under Section 77. Please take that as a date into consideration. This is the importance of my filing of a declaration under Section 78. Now, they say, sir, I have understood the importance of making a declaration. Rate of duty is 35% ad valorem on baggage. Examination, if there is a problem on baggage, if you are not clear with this addition and deduction, please remember this 35%. They will give some value of goods imported. They will say that out of this value, this much of value is not permitted. So you do plus or minus. Again, if you can do this 35% of the value derived, at least half mark to 1 mark, you can fetch from the problem. Why I'm telling you this? When you don't know 100%, don't leave the problem. At least make an attempt to solve within the given time. And for baggage, 35% is the value ad valorem. That means on the value of goods determined, I have to pay 35% customs duty. This rate of duty is not applicable to firearms, cartridges of firearms exceeding 50, cigarettes, cigars, or tobacco in excess of the quantity prescribed. Now, this is important. Whenever people come from foreign nation, they say, look, you are permitted to get something called baggage. Firearms, your pistol. Cartridges of firearms, your bullets exceeding 50. So there are few instances where firearms are permissible. Cartridges are permissible. So why is that they are permitting? Probably you have a license. You have a license to carry a firearm. You are a public celebrity. And part of that, you are supposed to carry this particular thing. Example, say John Pope. When John Pope visits India, along with him, his security guards have to come. So they are permitted to import something called firearms. Along with the firearms, cartridge of firearms, not exceeding 50. This can be not forming part of my baggage. Cigarettes. Now, this is for the people who are fond of smoking. Cigarettes or cigar. Now, cigarette is pieces like you consume and throw up the butt. In case of cigar, it is a kind of the pipe which you carry. So, cigar or tobacco in excess of the quantity prescribed for importation. So, for these cases, my customs duty is not 35%. My customs duty will be 100% ad valorem. 100% ad valorem. So, for this particular purpose, we have to study your baggage provisions. Moving further. Now, Section 79 under customs law has given a general exemption. What is the general exemption? The proper officer may, subject to the rules made thereunder, pass free of duty for specific baggage. So here, Section 79 says that, look, a proper officer, if he feels okay, he will permit you to take your baggage free of duty. What is that? Personal use. Sumit, look at this point carefully, ma'am. Personal use of any article in the baggage of a passenger or a member of the crew. Passenger or member of the crew. Now, example. Sir, I have a wristwatch. Say this wristwatch is made of Raga Tata series, or I could have some other branded imported wristwatch. Now, whenever we say a wristwatch, it is a personal belonging. Now, no one needs to question, Praveen, is this wristwatch your personal belonging? So they say any articles which are of personal use in the part of a baggage, which is used by a passenger or which is used by a member of crew. Why member of crew? Because when you see a vessel coming to India, when you see an aircraft which is coming into India, who are part of this particular living things, non-living things. Living things is your passengers and the crew members. Non-living things is your baggage and the goods. So in case of living things, they say personal usage, I permit them as a duty-free things. Any article in the baggage, use of the passenger or his family, or is a bona fide gift or souvenir. Value of such article and total value within the limit specified. So Sumit, your point comes here, ma. Now I can carry something as gift. I can carry something as gift. I can carry something as souvenir. I can carry something as gift or souvenir. How is that permitted? It is permitted up to a limit specified. This is covered in your section 79. Now, classification class of goods. How do I classify my baggage? My baggage is classified into two kinds. Baggage which is passenger oriented, baggage which is meant for member of crew. Again, examination, 3 marks is a question based on this particular slide. Classify the nature of baggage. Classify the nature of goods in relation to baggage. So here, when I talk about baggage, when an aircraft or a vessel comes, living things, only a passenger or a member of crew, these are the only two living things. That's the reason I can classify my baggage into these set of things. Class of goods. I can classify the goods as personal belongings, household effects, gifts and souvenirs. So I can have my goods which are brought into India, personal effect. Sir, I have gone with 10 shirts and 10 pants. I've gone with 2 notebooks and 1 laptop. Sir, these are all my personal effects. Household effect. Sir, I have gone with say 10 utensils for the purpose of cooking. Sir, I have gone with a television. Sir, I have gone with a mattress. Now, these are all not personal effects. These are called household effects. Like example, people who visit abroad to settle in abroad. Imagine a person who is traveling for employment, say to USA. What happens? Along with your personal effects, you will carry something called household goods. Like to make your coffee, I need to have a coffee machine. To make idli, to make dosa, I need to have a pan. I don't get this idli maker in say US, but I can get this dosa butter or idli butter. So I buy and I use this utensils for making my idli or dosa. So right, this is second class of goods called household effects. Third class called gifts and souvenirs. Now gifts, what we buy for family members or relatives. Souvenir in relation to your tourist purpose generally. No, in memory of the places where we visited, we may carry some items called souvenirs. So these are 3 set of goods I have under my baggage provisions. Now, general duty-free baggage allowance. There is something called Annexure 1. This is tested for 3 marks in your examination. Means adjustment from this particular annexure read with your value, which is going to come in the next slide. This particular slide number 8, slide number 9, slide number 10. 3 slides put together, 3 marks is the weightage, how they're going to test in your examination. As per Annexure 1, read with Rule 3, 4, 6, what they say, there are general duty-free allowances, duty-free baggage allowances. What are those? Firearms. I can import a firearm. Cartridges of firearms exceeding 50. So these are the annexure. Look at your Annexure 1, page number 5.52. Cigarettes exceeding 100 sticks or cigars exceeding 25. Tobacco exceeding 125 grams means this Annexure 1 says that cartridges of firearm exceeding 50 is not a duty free. So up to 50, it is a duty free baggage. Once I exceed 50, it is not a duty free baggage. For those who don't understand, firearm is nothing but your gun. So when I carry a gun, I need to have bullets. So for that, I have a cartridge called cartridge of firearm exceeding 50. Up to 50, I can call as a duty-free baggage. If it is exceeding 50, then it's not called as a duty-free baggage. Probably I have to pay duty. So if I am importing 75 cartridge, each bullet costing me rupees, say 10 rupees. So bullet is not so cheap, sir. For your academic purpose, let's take an example. I am bringing 75 cartridges at rupees 10 rupees each. So as per this provision, what it says, 50 into 10, I get 500. This 500 is a duty-free baggage. So what happens to the balance 250? Balance 250 is dutiable. This balance 250, I have to pay duty. Right? So this is how we understand this particular annexure 1 in relation to calculation of duty. They say general duty-free baggage. Firearm allowed. Cartridge not exceeding 50. Up to 50, sir, yes, allowed. Cigarettes exceeding 100, sir, up to 100, allowed. Cigar exceeding 25, up to 25, allowed. Tobacco exceeding 125 gram, sir, up to 125, equivalent to 125, allowed. Now, these are few things which you need to understand. Alcoholic liquor or wine excess of 2 liter. Gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. So, duty free, they allow ornaments, not gold and silver in bullion form. Like example, sir, I get my this bullion. As I said, the gold is worth 3,200 in say Abu Dhabi. It is worth 5,000 in India. What is the gap? I have a gap of say 1,800. If 10 passengers are coming, I can get 10 grams from each. So it itself makes 1,800 into 10, 18,000. I'm just giving a mathematics. So what happens if this is a regular practice? For that reason, they say any gold or silver ornaments I can allow as a duty-free baggage. If it is other than ornaments, I don't permit. And when I say ornaments, I need to have a bill saying that these ornaments have been purchased in that particular nation. Flat panel, that is your TV. Flat TV, it is again not allowed. Now, in relation to your baggage, they have given few definitions. Who is a resident? Resident means a person who is holding a valid passport issued under Passport Act 1967. Sir, I happen to be a citizen of India. I visit from Kerala to Singapore. When I come back, will I be called as a resident? If you have a passport issued under Indian laws, you will be called as a resident. Tourist, a person who not normally resident in India enters India for a stay not more than 6 months. Examination, this is one tested. Mr. A, who happens to be a citizenship of Turkey, visits India for a project for a period of 8 months. If he is coming for 8 months, he will be not called as tourist. Tourist should be a person who should not be considered for more than 6 months. In the course of any 12 months period of legitimate immigrant purpose, not for legitimate non-immigration purpose. Personal effects means things required for staying daily necessity, but does not include jewelry. Look at here. Now, India, jewelry is one of the essential commodity for women. But they say jewelry is not a personal effect. All other than jewelry is your personal effect. Moving further. Now, this is what important. Look at your page number 5.47. Examination. A problem will be tested for 3 marks on the basis of this particular chart. Sir, I don't remember the list of articles what you have said. Simple. Gun or pistol, which is called arms, 50 cartridges. Your cigarettes, 100 numbers. Your cigars, 50 numbers. Tobacco. Tobacco, 125 grams. So this is how you need to just remember those articles. And just before a day of exam, on the day of exam, just look at these numbers. 100 in case of cigarettes, 25 in case of cigars, 125, 100 plus 25, 125 in case of tobacco. Just remember only till the exam date. Now, what they say in case of your duty-free baggage. Now, this is a question major. People who have been in practice, you get questions from your relatives. So you'll say duty-free baggage is allowed when an Indian resident or a foreign residing in India or tourist of Indian origin, excluding an infant. Origin of country from where the passenger is coming. So if the passenger is coming from any country other than Nepal and Bhutan, used personal effects and travel souvenir articles allowed free of duty. So what they're allowing? First item, used personal effects. Sir, I'm having Mangal Sutra. I don't put. Female claims that, sir, when I got married in India, while going abroad, I am having this Mangal Sutra. Will you not call as used personal effects? Unfortunately, personal effects excludes your jewelry. So here, articles allowed free of duty is your used personal effects. So I went with 10 pair of shoes. I've come back with 15 pair of shoes. Can I call that as a personal effect? Daily wear. Shoe is a daily wear. It's a personal effect. So I've gone with a laptop. I've come with 5 laptops. Something is suspicious. You cannot come with 5 personal laptops. You use one laptop, which is normal. You come back with the same laptop or a different laptop. I agree. But 5 laptops, I don't agree. This is how the examination happens in case of your personal effects. Travel souvenir. Again, your travel souvenir is of no limit in value. So I have purchased something from Singapore. I have purchased something from Indonesia. Like Singapore, there is this monument where the water comes from a particular architecture. I have purchased that. I've gone to Russia. I've bought some stones, which are known at that particular place. I have purchased some map. I have purchased some coins. I have purchased some textile. Remembering those places. In a particular place, wool is well known. So remembrance of that place, I brought something as a souvenir, some item made of wool. Now, these are all can be called as your travel souvenirs, which is historical in nature, which is connected with that particular place. Articles up to value of rupees 50,000. Now, Sumit, your point comes here, ma. Article, gift. So when I come back to India, other than personal effects, other than travel souvenir, is called as gift. So I'm getting 1 kg of chocolates. Is it a souvenir? It is not souvenir. It is a gift, which is called as your article. So I get a small piece of laughing Buddha. I get a small piece of this elephant made of granite. Now, these are all souvenirs which are not personal effects, but will be allowed free of cost. But there is no value attached for that. Articles up to a value of rupees 50,000, excluding the articles mentioned in Annexure 1. So what they say? In my Annexure 1, whatever they are permitted, I can bring those articles, in addition to that, up to rupees 50,000. So I'm carrying firearm, please carry. So I'm carrying a cartridge of 25 pieces, please carry. So I'm carrying gold and silver as an ornament, please carry. Sir, I am carrying a cigarette of 50 pieces. Please carry. Sir, in addition, I am carrying a gift of 75,000. They say, look, I permitted your Annexure 1. In addition to that, 50,000. Now you have declared a value of 75,000. There is a gap of 25,000 for which you have to pay duty. If carried on in person or in accompanied baggage of the passenger. For these cases, they say it's a duty-free baggage. Now let me come to my Excel to make you understand this particular computation. Mr. A, I think let me take this example. Application of Annexure 1 and Rule 3 for general duty-free baggage. Mr. A declares the below information on return from Singapore. under section 77. Personal belongings 2,45,000. Souvenir 85,000. Then your what you call cigarettes. Say I have 15. Let me make 50 pieces, each costing rupees 100. Now, value of that 100 rupees into 50. Then he also makes a declaration that ornament, gold ornament, rupees 1,25,000. Gift 95,000. Now, this is a total. So when you have this amount, you have to examine your general free baggage, which is permissible under Rule 3, Rule 4, Rule 6, read with Annexure 1. Now, students, please look at your page number 5.47. Page number 5.47. Now, what is happening here? Look at your rule number 3. Indian resident, Mr. A happens to be a resident of India, residing in India or Indian origin. He is coming from any country other than Nepal and Bhutan. Now, in this case, we have discussed that he is coming from Singapore. Use personal effects and travel souvenir. Now, there is no value mentioned. So, it is duty-free. Souvenir, duty-free. Cigar. Now, excluding articles, like, articles up to value of rupees 50,000, excluding articles mentioned in Annexure 1. So when I calculate rupees 50,000, I exclude the articles mentioned in my Annexure 1. Articles up to the value of rupees 50,000, excluding articles mentioned in Annexure 1, if carried on in person or in accompanied baggage of the passenger. Right? So here, all these articles, what is going to carry, it is forming part of my baggage. It is forming part of my baggage. Now, this particular item which I am going to carry as cigarettes, what is happening here? Let me come to the annexure page. Just give me a minute. Let me find the respective page. Now, yes, here, look at your page number 5.52. Page number 5.52 says that Annexure 1. In Annexure 1, I was permitted to carry up to how much value? My cigar, 50 pieces. But cigar exceeding 25. So here, my duty-free and non-duty-free. So here duty-free will be, as per Annexure 1, cigars exceeding 25. So here what I'll say, 25 into 50, 100. Non-duty-free, 25 into 100. Now, I have cigar as per Annexure 1, 25, which can be permitted as per part of baggage. So this value comes to 2,500. Similarly, here this value comes to 2,500. Next, gold ornament. They say gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. Gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. What I will do? Duty free. Duty free is for gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. So I'll say ornaments 1,25,000. Next. Gift. Now, gift is a forming part of article, my what you call baggage article, which is not restricted in my schedule annexure 1. Gift value is 95,000. So what I have done? Cigars out of 5,000. Duty-free baggage, 2,500 is permitted. Balance is not permitted. I have kept a non-duty-free. Now, with respect to gold ornaments, my gold ornaments, they say gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. So, annexure 1 is permitting me gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. So, here I brought as an ornament. So, I am calling again this is a non-duty-free. Gift, it can be forming part of my baggage. I have brought as a baggage. So here what I will do, I'll add this total of baggage total other than duty free. Duty for baggage. Now what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to calculate what is permitted as a baggage, what is not permitted as a baggage. Here, my rate of duty is 35% for baggage. Here, duty is at tariff rate. That is 100%. So in case of other than baggage, my rate of duty is different. In case of baggage, my rate of duty is 35%. So what I'll do here, come back to your rule 3. My duty-free allowance is rupees 50,000. Excess baggage. So out of 97,500, I can get permitted only 50,000. This 47,500 is the amount which is subjected to duty. Now, what is the duty? On 47,500, I'll pay 35%. This is my customs duty I have to pay. So here, we did the calculation of customs duty on a baggage where I was permitted to allow up to 50,000. While doing this calculation of 50,000, how I have done? What is forming part of my annexure 1 or what is an article? What is not permitted, I'll calculate at a regular rate. Now, this is the purpose of my baggage. Let me see if there are any questions so far. Sir, if Mr. X is traveling from Singapore to India, then declaration need to be given to person in charge of Singapore authorities, Singapore Airlines. Yes, as a protocol, Namita, this X gives a declaration to that, but before he gets clearance from Singapore, he declares reason, any particular ornament, any particular item which is missing from the baggage, the concerned airlines are responsible. So this particular X gives a form declaration saying that these are the goods which is meant forming part of my baggage. That particular thing will be made as an intimation under Section 77 when this particular passenger comes to India. That is at the time when they get the clearance to come into India. Sumit is asking, sir, do we need to remember these limits? Unfortunately, yes, Sumit. Unfortunately, yes. Now, for that reason, I'm saying that Examination, this is having 4 to 5 marks. Just a day before exam, look into these numbers and get into the exam. Once you come out of exam, refresh your RAM and be happy with it. Priya is asking, sir, gold ornament, should it be duty free? My gold or silver in any form other than ornaments. So my annexure 1 is giving me gold or silver in any form other than ornament. If it is an ornament, I am not permitted under annexure 1, Priya. Right? This alone, they're saying that not in this particular annexure 1. So if it is not permitted annexure 1, whatever tariff rate is there, that will be applicable, Priya. Coming back. Now, you can have why this treatment is given, Priya, if you look at the logic. See, gold and silver, it is just a bullion. So, you know, whatever is a regular tariff rate, like, no, the tariff rate is much, much less than this baggage rate. In case of ornaments which is stated with diamonds, ornaments which is having your precious metal than gold, it goes unaccountable. For that reason, they apply the regular tariff rate for those ornaments. Probably that could be the reason, Priya, why they have kept outside the annexure 1. I could say that as a reason, as a logic for your ornaments. Hope this is clear. So students, let's have a break for 5 minutes. We are at 8:1. 8:05, let us resume back with our discussion. Let us start with our discussion. Hope this calculation of baggage is clear for all of you. Let me come back to my presentation. So this is in case of a resident who comes back to India, where he is carrying and declaring these values for the purpose of customs assessment. There's one question from Namita. So we can put a gold chain infant neck. Okay, let us look at this question. So we can put a gold chain in infant neck. We can claim if it is duty free as infant is not a passenger. So baggage rules does not apply to infant. I do agree with you, Namita, excluding infant. If you look at the definition, probably they have defined infant. Infant means a child not more than 2 years of age. But however, this could be looked upon as a duty which is getting escaped. I do agree with your contention, Namita, but infant doesn't require other than the basic things. This jewelry and all will be in the custody of the major. Whoever is the parent is supposed to be responsible for that particular ornaments. So that could be convened as argument. Probably it may not sustain. Now moving further. So what if a tourist is of a foreign origin who's visiting India? So in case of tourist, use personal effects and travel souvenir. As usual for Mr. A, what we have seen, exempted for all personal effects and travel souvenir. So customs authorities are very kind and generous enough. Whatever personal belongings are there, they're not charging any duty. Articles up to the value of rupees 15,000. Now, what if he is going to get some imported gift or some items in addition to personal effects? Those are the articles where they say above 15,000, it is subjected to customs duty. And again, articles mentioned in Annexure 1. So whatever articles are there forming part of Annexure 1 and those gifts up to 15,000, no need to pay any customs duty. Let's move further. So what if these are imported from Nepal and Bhutan? Now, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, these are the jurisdictions, borders to India, where most of these items get smuggled. It comes without the knowledge of the customs authorities. So what they say, any goods which are coming as a used or personal effects, I permit that. Articles, I give a value up to 15,000, similar to what is given to a tourist, if carried on in person or in accompanied baggage. If you're coming by land, I'll permit only used personal effects, nothing else. So that means if you want to bring your souvenir, travel souvenir, you should not come by road. Rather, you should catch a flight from Nepal. You should go to Burma or some other place. From there, you have to fly back to India. Because the flight journey is so costly from Nepal to India, people prefer only road. It is just a matter of travel, like from Gurugram to Delhi, from your Punjab to Haryana. It's all adjacent borders. So only in case if you come by flight, you are permitted for travel souvenir and goods up to 15,000. If you come by road, you come as a sadhu with your personal effects. Other things I am not going to permit. Examination. So what do I need to remember? Again, examination students, I am telling you this upfront. Yeah. Examination, please remember these items. Like 50, 100, 25, 125. So when I know a pistol, I can have up to 50. Cigarettes, 100 pieces. Cigar, 1/4 of that, 25. 100 plus 25, 125. Tobacco. Alcohol, 2 liters. Alcohol, that is liquor or wine, 2 liters. Gold or silver in any form other than ornament. Flat TV, that is your flat TV. Now, these are the items which are permitted. and beyond this 50, beyond 100, beyond 25, beyond 20, 125 or ornament. These are the items which are excluded. As Sumit said, the day when you're going to exam, customs, 25 marks, look at this page. What you can do, make a note as a reference point. Just look at these numbers and go for your examination. Now this, along with this, like no, your 50,000, just remember this value of 50,000. So what if other than a resident? If it is other than a resident, tourist, etc., who is coming to India, 15,000. Coming from Nepal and Bhutan, for them also this 15,000 is allowed. So this is how you just remember for your examination. Next. Now, this is quite interesting. Jewelry allowance. This is little interesting to look upon. What they say? Look at your page number 5.48. Look at your page number 5.48. A passenger residing abroad for more than 1 year. A passenger who is residing abroad for more than 1 year. Now, they don't say passenger is of Indian origin, passenger of foreign origin. They say passenger who is residing abroad for more than 1 year. But when I look at the language, a passenger who is residing abroad, so Indian who is residing abroad for more than 1 year. Origin of country, any country. A male coming back, jewelry up to a weight of 20 grams with a cap of 50,000. Lady passenger, a jewelry up to a weight of 40 grams with a value of rupees 1 lakh. So if it is a male, 50,000 or 20 grams. 50,000 or 20 grams. So what if it is a female? In case if it is a female, rupees 1 lakh or 40 grams. This is a ceiling with respect to a person who is residing in abroad for more than 1 year. So what if he is residing less than 1 year? Then this jewelry allowance is not allowed. This jewelry allowance is not allowed. Now, examination. Again, expect a 3 marks question from this particular problem. Let us look at a small problem and then come back. No. Okay. I have set one problem based on this jewelry allowance. Computation of general free allowance. What they say? Mr. A visits Canada for employment related purpose on 14th April 2020. So A is visiting Canada for employment opportunity on 10th April 2020. He carries few belongings with him with due intimation of as personal belongings. So when A is visiting, he made an intimation saying that these are the goods which I am going to carry with me. His wife joins him after a period of 2 months. So this Mr. A, when he has visited Canada, he got an employment, and within a span of 2 months, he could get a visa for his wife, and she also visited Canada. Now, both of them returned back to India on 15th April 2021. Both of these A and Mrs. A, Mr. A and Mrs. A, come back to India on 15th April 2021 with the following information. Now, look at this carefully, students. Mr. A gave a separate declaration, Mrs. A gave a separate declaration. Now, this could be called as tax planning. I wouldn't say this is tax avoidance. This is a tax planning. Reason, A and Mrs. A, Mr. A, Mrs. A, when they have to visit, they need to make a separate intimation because passenger, every passenger luggage is maintained, need to be a separate baggage. So if I have 5 bags, 3 bags can be declared under A, 2 bags can be under Mrs. A. This is how I can make a intimation. So Mr. A gives this information. What he says, personal belongings 85,000, travel souvenir rupees 12,000. Laptop, rupees 76,000. Mrs. A, I think I wrongly typed this instead of jewelry. Let me also mention here jewelry. Or let me make this as 75,000. No. Okay. So A is giving information of personal belongings, travel, souvenir, jewelry. Mrs. A is giving information of personal belonging 45,000, personal computer 75,000, cigar 50 in numbers, each worth rupees 30,000, jewelry 75,000. Now this is the intimation given by Mrs. A. I give you 2 minutes of time. For Mr. A, please calculate and let me know duty free allowance or general free allowance. For Mr. A, on the basis of this information, please calculate and let me know what is free duty free permitted, what is subjected to duty, what is subjected to duty. On the basis of, look at your for your ease of understanding, students, look at your page number 5.48, also page number 5.47. You can look at these 2 pages and come with your answer. Because you're practicing, you can look at your information and then come with your answer. So for A, how much I can call that as duty free allowance, and how much I have to call that as a dutiable. Namita is asking this question. So if A is coming back with 5 laptops, then duty needs to be paid on 4 laptops. Yes, for laptop, generally there is an exemption, Namita. For laptops, there is an exemption. Beyond 1 laptop, if it is carried, then he has to pay duty on the balance. Students, please confirm your answer. Mr. A, how much is duty-free allowance? How much is dutiable allowance? Sumit says for A, all are exempt. Okay. Now, Sumit, look at your page number 5.48, Sumit. This Mr. A is coming back with jewelry. Now, for jewelry allowance, how much they have permitted, Sumit? For jewelry allowance, how much they have permitted? Gentlemen, 20 grams with a value cap of rupees 50,000. Can I give entire 76,000 duty free allowance, Sumit? Is entire 76,000 exempt or something is dutiable? Naveen Prakash says duty free allowances, personal belongings, 85,000 souvenir, 12,000 dutiable, 16,000 considering gold allowance. Sairam also says 35,000 and 26,000 will be dutiable. Sairam, we are just talking about Mr. EM. I think I'm not clear with your answer. Let me just cross check once again. Okay. Let us discuss this. Personal belongings, if you read your rule number 3, all used personal effects traveling from any country, I would say it is a Indian resident or foreigner, whoever it is duty free. 85,000 duty free. Travel souvenir, again, that is also duty free. Jewelry, as per rule 5, 50,000 is the cap for gentlemen, and rest, that is your 50 minus 76, 26,000 is dutiable. Are you clear with Mr. A? Examination, this is tested for 3 marks. Examination, this is tested for 3 marks. Rupees 1,47,000 is duty free, and dutiable rupees 26,000. This would be your answer. Next, for Mrs. A, can someone tell me how much is the general and how much is duty free allowance? How much is dutiable? For Mrs. A. Good. I could see one interesting point from Sumit. Sir, this 26,000, can't we take a benefit under what you call articles? Articles of 50,000. I can take only 50,000, Sumit. I cannot take beyond that now. For rule 3 or rule 5, if you see, there is a capping of 50,000 alone now. For rule 3 or rule 5, whatever article you call, Sumit, it is only 50,000. That's the reason I have taken 50,000 and balance 26,000 we offer for duty. Interpretation is very valid, Sumit. I don't deny your point. So here, when I look at that 50,000 Sumit article, we have to combine these two things together, where 50,000 is the maximum cap, be it jewelry or be it as under rule 3. So I cannot apply rule 3 and then rule 5. For the benefit of other students, Sumit has come with an interpretation. Sir, can't I apply rule 5? I'll claim benefit of 50,000. Then I'll go for rule 3. Again, I'll apply 50,000. Also claim the benefit of 26,000. Makes a reasoning, but generally application of both the rules in tandem is not permissible, Sumit. So for that, I would like to make a correction on that. Yogesh says 85,000 is duty free, 12,000 is duty free, 50,000 jewelry balance, and 26,000 dutiable. Good. I could see a good number of answers. Let me confirm the answer. So here, in case of Mrs. A, 45,000 personal belongings, no one can tax. Personal computer, 75,000. So here, what I will do for the purpose of again, is this dutiable? I would say yes. I have a cap of 50,000 under general duty free allowance. So here I'll say 50,000 is general duty free allowance. Balance 25,000 is dutiable. Cigars, 50 numbers. They have. She has brought 50. Now for cigarettes, how many I can bring? I can bring cigars up to 50 pieces. So she has brought 50 pieces. However, This 50,000 I have enjoyed here. So what I have to do? I have to pay this 30,000 as my duty. Similarly, jewelry. For Mrs. A, 75,000. Can I claim a benefit of 75,000? That is up to as per Rule 5. If you look at Rule 5, they say passenger residing abroad for more than 1 year. Now, in this problem, students, look at this problem carefully. 10th April 2020, the visit happened. 10th April 2020. And they have come back on, when did Mrs. E visited? This is Mr. A. Mrs. A has visited on 2 months later, that is 10 June 2020. And when did they return back? Return happened on 15th April 2021. Now, from Mrs. A point of view, was she abroad for more than 1 year? Answer is no. She is not abroad for more than 1 year. For that reason, my benefit under Rule 5, that is rupees 1 lakh, is not applicable. So what we will say? General duty free allowance 0. Entire 75,000 will be subjected to duty. So what we will say? My duty free allowance is this much. My duty taxable is 1,30,000. I'll repeat the last point for benefit of other students. Jewelry. As per Rule 5, I can claim a benefit of 1 lakh in case of a female. So Mrs. A was under impression that she can claim this entire 75,000 as a relief compared to Mr. A. Unfortunately, Mrs. A was not there abroad. Passenger residing abroad for more than 1 year. Since she was not there for more than 1 year, this entire 75,000 she cannot claim. I have to offer it for payment of duty. So this is what we have to look for Mrs. A. Okay. Sairam is asking this question. Sir, if Siga's value is more than 50,000, then it will be considered in Rule 1. Not Rule 1, Annexure 1, Sairam. Annexure 1 has given Sigas up to 25 numbers, man. Overall 50 numbers. Now I'll clarify this dot this way, Sairam. See, Annexure 1 permits Sigas 25 numbers. Now, duty free allowance is rupees 50,000. So if value is up to 50,000, I can call this as baggage. Now look at this way, Simon. Scenario 1, scenario 2. Sigas 75 numbers. Sigas 15 numbers. Now, baggage, not a baggage, for duty purpose. Now here, what the department is saying, what the provision is saying, up to 50 numbers, I can call that as a baggage. 25, I cannot call as a baggage. Why? My ad valorem value, 35% is the duty. In case other than baggage, 100% is the duty payable. Sairam, other students, please understand this point carefully, ma. When you look at your Annexure 1, Annexure 1 says it can be permitted as a baggage, articles allowed free of duty, up to rupees 50,000, excluding articles mentioned in Annexure 1. So I can bring in Annexure 1 up to rupees 50,000. Exceeding that Annexure 1, not there as per Annexure 1, I cannot call that as a baggage for the purpose of duty free. So here, this 50 numbers, I can continue to enjoy benefit of baggage up to 35%. If it is more than this 50 numbers, sorry, cigars exceeding 25. So let me change this way. 25, 50. I'll correct myself. Annexure 1. As per Annexure 1, I was permitted to have 25 cigars. So how much is not permitted? Not permitted 50 numbers. So when I was permitted 25 numbers, I'll bring as a part of baggage. So what is not part of baggage? 50 numbers. Why? When I say it is a baggage, my ad valorem 35% is the duty. So what if it is not part of baggage? 100% is the assessment value. So in case of 50 numbers, I call 50 numbers as a part of baggage, not part of baggage, 0. This is how I take into consideration. Hope this is clear, Sainam. Now, one step further. Now, let us look one step further for this. So when I doing this calculation, I was given with 50,000 ceiling. My articles up to rupees 50,000. So what I will do, assuming cigar cost is 100, just for calculation, or let me make 500. Cigar cost is 500. So what I will do, 25 into 500, 50 into 500, 15 into 500. So here, claim a benefit up to 50K in case of forming part of baggage. In this case, what I will do, pay duty at 100% ad valorem. Now, so when you are bringing some goods into India, they say, look, you are permitted only 25 cigars, which is forming part of baggage. Sir, what if I bring 50? They're not stopping you. Fundamental, like no, you're fond of cigars, so you bring more than whatever you want, but I tax at a regular rate. So if I say baggage, this is the rate. If I say not a baggage, this is the rate. So this is the purpose why we call this as a baggage. Hope this is clear, Saira. And Namita is asking this question, sir, where is it mentioned application of Namita is asking this question. There are multiple questions. I could skip. Somewhere I have lost your question, Namita. Sumit says Mrs. E benefit not available for jewelry under Rule 3. So where is it mentioned? Rule 3, Rule 5, both limit is 50,000. See, we have to apply Rule 3 along with Rule 5. Ma. So when I apply my jewelry, I can claim up to 50,000. And article, again, I cannot call jewelry and article as a separate entry. So why 25 cigars? I made a correction, Amita. Initially it was ulta. Now I have made it correct. 15,000 is not duty free. Priya, 15,000 is duty free, ma. In this case, 12 up to 50,000 they say. So 12,500 I can bring import because it is less than 50,000. I need not pay duty. And this case, because they have permitted 25 numbers, beyond 25 numbers, I have to pay customs duty. The logic of baggage is they permit only these numbers. Beyond this, they don't permit for you to enjoy as a baggage. There is a policy, Namita. Why they are not permitting 50,000 for Indian cigars? It is a policy matter of the customs law. So why in the previous question we taxed balance 25 cigars? Why we taxed India 50 cigars in this question? See, I think it's cigarette, Namita. Let me see the previous question. Duty free up to 50,000, 25 pieces I have taken. And non-duty free balance 25 I have taken, Namita. What we have done, we have taken 25, which is permitted as per Annexure 1. Balance 25 not permitted, I have offered for duty. Ad valorem 100%. And while I am calculating this, Namita, look at the calculation. For 50,000, we have derived over here. Hope this is clear, Namita. Let's come back to the presentation. I think this baggage, you're fed up with baggage. Let's move from baggage to some other provisions. Now, baggage has a exclusion, means whenever there is a person who is transferring his residence, these are the items which are permitted. Annexure 3. Come to page number 5.49. So in page number 5.49, again there is a restriction. Annexure 1, Annexure 2, there is a value, but Annexure 3 up to aggregate of some rupees 60,000. There are few items which are permitted as a part of your shifting residence from foreign to India. So Annexure 1, what we have seen, those are up to certain limit free, more than that taxable. Similarly, Annexure 2, this is taxable. Annexure 3, this is something which is permitted for you to import up to certain value. Having read your Rule 3 and Rule 4, Rule 5, I'll skip this particular transfer of residence Rule 6. I'll come to the other provisions. Now, in case of a crew, we have discussed passenger all along. For crew, there is a ceiling of 1,500. So in case of a crew, any personal belongings, no need to pay any tax. If a crew is carrying gift items up to 1,500, they need not pay duty. Beyond 1,500, they have to pay duty. Now, this is important provision where they say there is a detention of a baggage, temporary, where a person who travels to India, a person who is traveling to India, he has a choice to deposit that article with customs authorities. When this article, which is imported, is prohibited, the customs authority says that, Praveen, you are bringing a particular commodity which is prohibited in India, may be permissible in other nation, but not permissible in India. So this particular importer, this particular passenger who is coming to India, instead of bringing this commodity into India, he can deposit that particular item with the proper officer. Or this passenger is not interested to pay duty on this article imported. Like example, a foreigner who is visiting India is carrying with him, say, 5 liters of alcohol. The customs officer say, look, you are carrying 5 liters. I can allow you at best 2 liters. This fellow feels, why should I pay customs duty and bring the articles? Better I'll put it with the customs authority. When I go back to my nation, I'll pick from the customs authorities and go back. So here, this temporary detention is as good as a mechanism where importer does not pay any duty. If he is not willing to pay duty, he deposits those goods with the customs authorities. When he is going back from India, on the basis of this declaration, he will take back those goods back with him. So this is a mechanism where goods are not brought into India, rather kept with the customs authorities for a temporary purpose. Next, transit and transshipment. Examination expected 4 marks theory question from this topic called differentiate transit, differentiate transshipment. It could so happen that when a ship or aircraft is visiting to India, this particular conveyance may not carry goods intended for a particular custom station only. So when a ship is coming from Singapore, from Singapore or say Shanghai. From Shanghai, a ship has come to Mumbai. So this particular ship may have goods which is meant for India, which is meant for China, which is meant for Singapore, which is meant for maybe Burma. When these three nations' goods are to be carried, they have a choice. You put into a small ship and let the ship do the unloading over here, or let the ship visit all the places in India and then visit to Singapore, visit to Burma. So this is a general practice which happens when the aircraft or a vessel comes into India. So first and foremost, a vessel which is coming to India may carry goods not only for India, for even foreign nation also. This is the purpose when a vessel comes into India. So this particular vessel which is coming into India may decide, I may visit customs port, I may not visit customs port. May not, may. Assuming that there is a vessel which is coming from Shanghai. This vessel is very big vessel. It is quite big. So what it says, look, I'll not cause entry into Indian territorial waters, or I'll make an entry into territorial waters. Let small boats come for the purpose of unloading. Say one consignment to Mumbai, one consignment to Vizag, another consignment to say Goa. So what this vessel will do, it will come to the port of Tuticorin. This vessel comes to the port of Tuticorin. From Tuticorin, a boat comes to pick the material for Mumbai. A boat comes to pick material for Vizag. Another boat comes to pick the material for Goa. So I can choose not to enter all the customs port, or I can choose to enter all the customs port. This mechanism was identified where they call transit, where I visit all the stations. Transshipment, I don't visit all the ports. A big vessel which is coming into India, which cannot enter all the ports in India, I can call that as a transshipment. Means I ship from one conveyance to another conveyance. So from a big conveyance, I ship it to smaller conveyances. Rather, I come in a small boat, a small ship, where I visit all the particular customs area in India. Then I call that as a transit. So this is the basic purpose of my transit and transshipment. What it says, my transit is governed by section 52. It is governed by section 54. In case of a transit, goods are allowed to remain in the same conveyance. So my aircraft or vessel, it visits all the ports. It goes to Kerala, it goes to Vizag, the same boat goes to Mumbai, from there it goes to Kandla. So when a particular boat is visiting different places in the same particular vehicle, it's called transit. In case of a conveyance, in case of a transshipment, the goods are unloaded from one conveyance and loaded into another conveyance. Why? Why do I adopt transshipment? Reason, I have a big boat, or I have a less time. A vessel which has come, which is of a very big nature, very big in size, it didn't get a berth to park its place. So when they don't have a place, they shift into smaller conveyance. That's called transshipment. There is a continuity in records. IGM, Import General Manifest, or IM, Import Manifest, Import Report. Now these are all various reports which are furnished by person in charge. A person in charge, when he is giving these various reports, there's a continuity in records. It doesn't change. In case of transshipment, one conveyance to another conveyance. So every time when it changes, the records needs to be updated, saying that from Singapore to this particular Vizag, this is the consignment. From Vizag, they say this portion of conveyance to Mumbai. From Mumbai, this to Goa. So my records keep changing when I do a transshipment. This is the difference between my transit and transshipment. examination, expect a 4 marks theory question between the differentiation. Now, next topic in examination, again, students, I'm just focusing from your exam point of view. Reason so many things are there, customs is very vast. What we are reading in our institute material is just a tip of my ocean. And from that small droplet, I'm just covering from exam, what are the frequently tested questions. So in case of stores, what do you mean by stores? I'll give you a backdrop for you to understand the importance of this stores. When we imagine an aircraft, when we imagine a vessel, this aircraft or this vessel, they need to have fuel. They need to have spare parts. They need to have food. They also need to have some sort of utility items. Fuel, spares, food, and utility. Now, all these items can be called as your spares, which are essential for an aircraft or a vessel. Now, when it comes to the matter of stores, when a ship is coming to India, when the ship is going out of India, is there a dutiability of these stores? The provision says, look, it is part and parcel of a ship. Why should I levy duty on that? So when I say food, say there are 120 alcohol 120 alcohol boxes are there. If they say, I let a free hand to come in and go out. So the ship has come with 120 boxes and it is going back with say 80 boxes. A ship has come to Mumbai for unloading, and from Mumbai it is going back to say Kazakhstan after unloading. Now what happened in between this 40 boxes? Can they say, sir, in these 40 boxes were consumed on my ship? No, actually there could be smuggling. There could be unauthenticated removal of this alcohol within the domestic tariff area, or anything can happen. That is the reason they have brought a special mechanism for stores. Whether duty should be paid. If duty should be paid, when I have to pay duty, when I have given an exemption, when I have given a permission, how the rules have to be formulated. All these aspects are discussed in my stores. Imported stores are allowed for keeping in a bonded warehouse. So whenever a vehicle or aircraft comes into India, they can store this material in a bonded warehouse and they can supply to vessel or aircraft as and when they require. So generally it so happens that when a vessel comes to India, it takes at least 15 days for this vessel to go back from India. Unlike an aircraft which comes to India, at least a week's time it will be there in India. Reason? They do some sort of testing. They have to unload. They have to reload. They have to change the crew members. A lot of activities are there. Cleaning activity is required. Assessment of goods is required. Reporting the goods which have brought into India and reporting the goods which are taking back off India. So for various reasons, when the goods come into India, they bring in this concept called bonded warehouse. Means you declare what is your stores. These stores I permit to keep you in bonded warehouse. As and when you require, you take it back for consumption. Importer makes him subscribe to a declaration that these goods are meant for stores to a vessel or aircraft. So whenever we talk about this concept of bonding, generally, once the goods are bonded, they need to pay duty. But in case of stores, they bring into bonding, they take out of bonding and they don't pay any duty. Reason stores are meant for consumption on a vessel or an aircraft. And to keep accountability, they have to keep in a bonded warehouse. My Section 2 has defined stores to include those are the goods which are used in vessel or aircraft and includes fuel, spare parts, other articles of equipment, whether or not for immediate fitting. This above also covers food, drinks, medicines, life-saving equipments. And these are items not imported or exported for international trade. These are essential for a vessel, essential for an aircraft. Stores list is a prescribed format which is to be filed as a part of import manifest or export manifest. So a person in charge, when he comes to India, when he's going out of India, always they give a declaration saying that, look, I'm coming with these items. Also, he gives a list of stores. Most of the movies you would have watched saying that, say, I have a food which is left for another 3 days. So they have a list of stores. Once they consume those stores, they take these items for the consumption on an international flight, which is considered as an export out of India. Now, similar to your transit, transshipment, they say that any stores which are imported to India on a vessel or aircraft, this remain on the same border conveyance without payment of duty in case of a transit. So what if there is a change in one conveyance to another conveyance? Same case. My stores are imported in a vessel or aircraft with the permission of the proper officer. From one conveyance to another conveyance, I can transfer the stores, which is in case of a transshipment. Consumption. Any goods are consumed for board or vessel, they have to consume without payment of duty. Why? Because this is meant for essential operation of my boat or vessel, aircraft. This is the point I was saying. Stores are consumed on a vessel or aircraft. So at the first point where it enters India, at the last point when it leaves India, there is a record which is maintained where they'll say how many goods have come in, how many goods are going out, and how much is the consumption within the given period. And as long as it is within the boat or vessel, no need to pay duty. But once it is proved that it is not consumed on a boat or vessel, then they have to pay respective duty on those stores. So what if I'm a manufacturer in India, a vessel which has come into India, they need some goods and stores. So if a manufacturer in India who is supplying, manufacturing these goods in India, he supplies those goods as a stores to a vessel or a ship. These are considered as a goods which are going out of India, and accordingly there is an exemption from duty. So example, say there is a foreign going vessel which has come to India, which is meant to leave India in a span of 3 days. Unfortunately, this particular vessel got some emergency which has to continue for another 3 days. By the time they are continued in India where the repair activity is going on, any stores and space which has sold this foreign going vessel or for foreign going aircraft will be considered as an export where this manufacturer need not pay any customs duty. Then we will come to the import procedures. Students, as I said, these are all in general, all till now. That is your baggage, your transit, transshipment, and your stores. These are the 3 topics which are generally tested in your examination from this chapter. Moving on to imports. There's a person called person in charge. This particular person in charge of a vessel or aircraft, he has to take a permission to cause an entry. Generally, whenever a flight comes to India, whenever a boat comes to India, there is something called 12 nautical miles. The other day, Namita was asking, so how do I visualize this 12 nautical miles? Wherever the border is there, we visualize this 12 nautical miles. And when a boat is coming into India, they generally file a declaration electronically saying that, look, this is my boat number, vehicle number, this is my vessel number. I'm coming from so-and-so nation. I want to take a permission to come into so-and-so port. So they make an electronic declaration. Both vessel and aircraft make a electronic declaration to cause an entry. When I say a cause entry, aircraft lands. Aircraft coming to a no particular jurisdiction of India. Vessel coming to the nautical miles. So this entry is caused with a prior permission. Before they come into India, they file something called arrival manifest or import manifest or import report. This is mandatory. They have to declare that, look, I'm coming as a vessel, these are the items I'm carrying. In this arrival manifest, they'll say, I have, say, 110 line items. Out of 110, 40 line items are made for this port in Mumbai, this port in Vizag, this port in Kerala. They'll give a declaration. And balance 60 or 70 items are meant for so-and-so other nations. Also, they give list of baggage. They also give list of the stores. This declaration, which is given electronically, is called Import General Manifest, IGM. IGM is a prior intimation. In case of a vehicle, it is 12 hours after the arrival. So any bus which is coming from Pakistan, any bus which is coming from Nepal, Bhutan, any bus which is coming from any land soil, they have a time limit of 12 hours. But in case of IGM, it is a prior intimation. If they don't give an intimation, there is a penalty levied on a person in charge. Now, this particular person in charge gets a permission from a proper officer for causing entry. That means whenever a vessel comes to India, they unload the material. So they have to take a permission. Sir, I'm coming from so-and-so place. I want a permission to get inside. Only when a proper officer gives a permission, they can cause entry inwards. Otherwise, they're not permitted to cause entry inwards. And whenever they have given an entry inward, they submit something called this Import General Manifest. And whenever there is an entry inward, a customs department notifies a person to supervise unloading of material from a cargo. And this goods which are unloaded should be as per the general manifest which is given. Means they give a list. Said, look, these are the list of items I have brought. Out of these, this is the notified list which I wanted to unload at your particular port. And whenever this loading and unloading is happening, it is under the supervision of a customs officer. Reason, when they say customs officer, this loading or unloading happens only on a working day. It doesn't happen beyond the working hours of a customs officer. Exceptional cases, with the prior permission of commissioner, they do this loading or unloading. Now, once the goods are unloaded at a customs area, there comes the matter. The goods have come from a foreign nation, goods are unloaded. And this particular goods need to be under a custody, safe custody of a person called custodian. So this safe custody of goods till these goods are cleared for home consumption or to put in a bonded warehouse or for transshipment. As long as these goods have been downloaded, this should be safely kept in a custodian jurisdiction. And this custodian generally will be a person who takes care of this particular material. If you remember, there is a section 13 where we talked about pilferage. This particular person is in charge who ensures that from the day you have unloaded till the goods are taken for home consumption, till the goods are put into bonded warehouse, or till the goods are put into another vessel for transshipment, this custodian is responsible. And all major ports, Port Trust of India, there is a Port Trust which is an entity which is under the control of central government. And in case of Inland Container Depot, this is a place which is a small place other than the Port Trust, which is under the custody of CCI, which is in case of your container freight station or container depot. These both are under the supervision of Container Corporation of India. Now, these are the government organizations which take the responsibility of a custodian. So what happens if the goods are pilferage? Wherever there is a pilferage, my custodian is liable to pay duty. And what is the relevance of goods which are stored in a particular place? The particular person has to file a bill of entry for making the payment. So what is the due date? Whenever this particular aircraft or vessel gets into the customs area, within a particular day, within a working day, I have to file my bill of entry. So what if I don't file bill of entry? There is a penal provisions in case the goods are not cleared from the what we call custodian. Sir, can I file my bill of entry prior to arrival of this vehicle? Answer is yes. Maximum up to period of 30 days prior to causing this entry of a vehicle. Again, these are general provisions which are tested. Now, so goods have come to India. These goods have to be filed for a bill of entry on self-assessment and have to take out. So what if I have not filed bill of entry? If I don't file bill of entry within a period of 30 days, then the proper officer will give a intimation saying that, look, you have imported the material and you have not filed a bill of entry. If you don't file a bill of entry, this particular custodian, with the permission of this proper officer, may auction this particular material. So any goods which have come to a particular place, if they are not clear within a period of 30 days, with an intimation to the this importer, they have to put it for auction. There is something called AEO. AEO, where there is a deferment of duty payment. Deferment of duty payment. That means to say, any goods which are cleared from 1st to 15th, the duty will be paid on 16th. Any goods cleared from 16th till the end of month, it will be paid on 1st of the subsequent month. So this AEO is permitted to make the payment on fortnight basis. For the month of March alone, 16th to 31st March, any goods which are cleared, it will be paid on 31st of March. Now, this AEO, please expect a MCQ question from your examination point of view. Okay, this is the end of my discussion. Now, there are a few questions. Let me take those questions and then we will wind up our today's discussion. Namita, have cleared your 25 points, 25 and 25 issue. Namita is asking, sir, in previous question, we have taxed only 2500, which has to be balanced 25 cigars only. So in the question, we should tax 15,000, not entire 30,000. Yes, Namita. Up to rupees 50,000, I'll take a benefit of annexure 1. Beyond that 25 cigars, what I'll do, I'll go and pay the duty as a regular tariff. This is a point we have to take into consideration, Namita. Next question from Namita. Sir, in case of transshipment, person in charge will hand over IGM to small boat person. No, it is not IGM, Namita. They mentioned that these are the consignments meant for that particular transshipment. There is something called boat note. There's a reference called boat note. So this boat note is a document to refer from a big ship, it is coming to a small ship. The small ship can do a transit, or this small ship can do a boat note for transshipment. So IGM is filed only once for entry into India. While going back, they file a EGM and they go out, Namita. Next question from Namita. Sir, is importer in store's case is person in charge or aircraft or airlines company? It is the master of an aircraft, not the airlines, Namita. See, every aircraft, there is a person called the crew, the person who drives the aircraft, who is called as a person in charge, the master. This particular in charge of the aircraft will be called as a person in charge. So the responsibility of this particular master should to file IGM. It is not on the airlines. They don't penalize the airlines. They penalize the person who is in charge of the aircraft. Generally, it will be the pilot. In case of an aircraft, it is a pilot. In case of a ship, it is a master. Next question from Namita. Sir, if stores are transferred in transshipment, will it come under consumption of stores? A good question. So let's take this way, Namita. Say you are having your ship vessel coming from Uzbekistan. From Uzbekistan, a vessel has come to Indian territorial waters. Now, this particular Uzbekistan ship has to give the consignment to a particular small shipper in India, and it has to travel further. Now, when the stores are given to a small ship, and this small ship is meant for domestic journey, not for foreign journey, then it is called consumption in India. So, a ship which has come from Uzbekistan, in the process of unloading the material by way of a boat note, some of the stores from Uzbekistan were put into a smaller boat, and that smaller boat is meant for a transit within India. This smaller boat never goes out of India. Then it is deemed that those space are bound for India, where they have to pay a relevant customs duty. And this is the answer to your question, Namita. Naveen Prakash is asking this question. Sir, I'm confused about the time limits given in section 20, 25A, 25B, page number 1.13, 1.15, 1.38. 1.13. Time limits given in section 20, okay? Section 25A, 1.15. Okay. Naveen, I'll put it this way, ma. So in case of 1.13, this is a case where goods are exported and those goods are returned. Means it's a kind of my own goods coming back. My own goods coming back as a return. In case of your section 20, Naveen, when you look at your page number 1.12, those are the cases where I, as an exporter, I enjoyed customs provisions like duty drawback or IGST. When those goods come back, if there is a intentional duty drawback kind of thing, those cases they wanted to penalize the assessee if those goods have come back within a given period. Coming to page number 1.16. 1.15 or 1.16. Now, these are the cases, Naveen. Goods have come to India for the purpose of going back. I repeat, goods have come for a minor repairs where it is going to go back now. That is a case where I apply my due dates as per section 1.16, page number 1.16. Now, coming to page number 1.38. 1.38, all these are interpretations, Naveen, on the basis of levying exemption. 1.39, this is also levying exemption. Hope this 1.13 and 1.15 is clear, Naveen. If not, you can put a question back. I'll give a detailed explanation. Don't worry on that. Namita is asking this question. Sir, however, importer doing business in Uttar Pradesh came to know that ship has arrived. See, Namita, I'll explain the practicality. To handle with customs, not a business person, not an individual can go to customs and clear the goods. It is mandatory that you have to go through a CHA, clearing house agent. None of the businessmen are permitted to visit the dock to get the goods cleared or to visit the customs to get the goods cleared. Under Customs Act, there was a notified person who has to write an exam, who gets qualification as a CHA. Only those authorized CHA are the people who can represent the individual or represent the business to get the goods cleared. Now, the question comes here is, how do they get to know that the ship has arrived? See, generally, when the material is leaving from that particular, origination, these agents, I said, clearing house agent, these CHA, they have a network of agents. So whenever I know that the goods have left from Uzbekistan, I intimate to CHA that, look, I got an intimation. How does it happen? I have to execute something called LC, letter of credit. My vendor in Uzbekistan gives the intimation to me by an email. Look, you have given a usance LC, like letter of credit at site. Once the goods have reached that particular no custom station in Mumbai or Uttar Pradesh, your users bills gets processed from a banker. Now I have to be very cautious because my arrangement is such a fashion that it is LC or at site or on receipt. So every day gets counted. The moment the boat leaves from that particular place, they give an intimation to the agent. And these agents have a regular follow-up to get this consignment cleared. And just now we have seen that in case if these goods are not cleared from the customs premises, this particular custodian has a right to auction those material. So for all these reasons, they have a tracking for that one. Yogesh is asking this question. Sir, in case of stores, are the stores in the country intended to be loaded on the ship? Answer to this question, Yogesh. Until and unless it is need, it is a urgency, it will not be done. Like example, when a ship, vessel or aircraft coming to India, they come with enough stores and space. So what if there is an emergency? There is a failure of an engine. There is a spare part which is not available. Exigency. So if they want exigency, the goods which are given to those foreign going vessels will be considered as an export. Second question. Are these stores which are already loaded in the ship? Yes, Yogesh. So when a ship comes, they need to have basic things. Fuel, spare parts, food items, your basic utility items. All these are basic essentials. Some reason, there is a jetsam. I have thrown some of the essentials. Once I have reached the nearest customs port, I felt that these are the items required. So what I'll do, I'll take from the respective port. Point number 3, Yogesh is asking this question. Are the stores to be transshipped and in between, they are unloaded and then loaded? Generally, Yogesh, so this is as wherever the boat goes, fuel is required. So they have enough stock. What if fuel is exhausted? On an emergency basis, they take. And generally, they don't do a transshipment of stores because it is part and parcel of that ship to operate. They generally don't do any transshipment, Yogesh. Hope this is clear, man. Last question for the day. Namrita is asking this question. So earlier, it is said that bill of entry needs to be filed on next day on ship arrival. Later, it is said within 30 days we can file bill of entry. No, man. This is the day when the entry has been casted, means the vessel has come and unloading happened, Namita. When the unloading happened, within the next day, they have to file the bill of entry. I have a time limit. See, assuming 15th of, we are on February. 15th Feb 2022, the vessel has reached Kandla Airport, Vishakhapatnam Port. On 15th Feb 2022, when the vessel has come, Namita, on or before 16th Feb, I have to file my bill of entry. Or I have 30 days prior, means on or up to 15th of Jan 2022, I can file my bill of entry ahead of the boat coming to India. This is how I have to read this particular provision, Namita. Still, if you have any doubt, Namita, you can post back your question. I'll definitely clarify this question. Students, we have at 9:30. I don't see any questions for the day. So I'll stop my discussion for the day. Had a good discussion, great discussion. We'll meet back again on 17th to have our further discussion. Till then, good night, goodbye. Jai Hind.